wanna go where the mountains are high enough to echo my song. I wanna go where the rivers run deep enough to drown my shame. I wanna go where the stars shine bright enough to show me the way. I wanna go where the wind calls my name. Daria, Daria, Daria. Most High, I am so grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for the day that you have allowed me to rise and see. I'm grateful for all the wonders of your beautiful creation. And I'm grateful for the messages you send and all the ways that you communicate with us and all the ways that you give us access to you. And I'm so grateful that you have provided for us and that you keep us safe and you give us things to understand and to inquire about so that we can have an opportunity to talk to you and to understand your ways. And I'm so grateful that your ways are not like our ways and that you have a much higher capacity for forgiveness and for redirection and for love and compassion and support. And I'm so grateful. And I ask that you please give me the words that need to be said. I ask that you let them fall on open hearts and ears and let a seed be planted for you to water and grow. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to share what's on my heart. And I ask that you set my ego aside so that I can be an authentic expression of your love and a clear channel for your will. And I'm so grateful for the promises that you gave and the confidence that I can have in standing on your word because I know it's true. And by faith I count it all done through the blood of Christ. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight. You are my strength and my redeemer. I'm so grateful. So it is. Divine Rising family, I am grateful to be able to speak to you again. And I hope that something said is value added to somebody's heart. I rose today and immediately went outside. I had to take my dog to use their bathroom. And when I went outside, I think they were crows sitting outside the door. Across the way, but visible. First there was one and it looked like it was chasing a squirrel, but then it flew up onto a lamppost and there was another one sitting there that I hadn't noticed before because that one flew right over my head when I came out the door and went across the way looking at the squirrel. And then there was another one cawing in the distance, and when I walked out and looked up, there were two more on the roof of the building. So I looked that up and they have different meanings, but all the meanings are messages from the Most High. So I take that as a sign to pay attention. Like I said, the Most High speaks in many different ways, and I think that was a call for me because the past couple days, maybe I think I've been a little distracted, and it's time to pay attention. So today when I opened the Bible, I've gotten into the habit of just kind of flipping it open and see where it lands and taking a message from that. And today it landed precisely on Nehemiah chapter 13. That's the only chapter that was open to this page, and the chapter filled the whole page. And it was talking about how Nehemiah came back to Jerusalem and was restoring the temple in the city. from the ways that the Israelites were misusing the temple and the Sabbath. So, of course, to me, that is a word, because I was also rebuked yesterday. I had gotten into some new age stuff like saging the house and like singing bowls and crystals. I think that stuff is so cool, but the Most High rebuked me because he warns against divination in the Bible. And honestly, as I was told, if you're really connected, when you're really connected, you don't need all that stuff. And honestly, I was really into it just for the novelty of it. I just think it's cool. But honestly, I didn't need that stuff, because even as I was getting into it and listening to different readings and all the things, it was only confirming what the Most High had already told me, just showing me that I'm on the right track. I'm not crazy. I'm not just hearing things, or a lot of times I don't even hear words. It's just a knowing in my spirit of what I need to do next. But sometimes when I don't feel that, or I'm not sure of it, or I'm second guessing myself, I look to other things for confirmation. And the Most High is saying it's time to stop that. We are supposed to seek Him and to know that He gives us everything we need. Like when I looked up the meanings about the birds and stuff, and it came to this scripture of, what is this? Luke chapter 12 verse 24 says, "Consider the ravens, they do not sow nor reap, they have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them, and how much more valuable you are than birds to Him." So I was even considering, because today is the full moon, and in the new age practices, a lot of times you follow the moon cycles and do different things depending on what's happening in the cosmos, because it all affects us and affects our bodies. But what the Most High has been showing me is that He overrides all of that. It really doesn't matter. Your body may be affected, but if you're listening and following what He's instructing, none of that will matter. And I have noticed, because in the beginning, well, I thought I was going crazy because things was happening. I would randomly get emotional and stuff like that. It was before I started paying attention to the moon. And it's actually what prompted me to start doing research, because different things were happening to me and I didn't understand it. So I'm a big nerd, and that's not a derogatory word for me. I am proud to be that. I do a lot of research. I enjoy learning. And so, but sometimes that can be a detriment to me, because I enjoy intaking information. Like my mom showed me a movie called, Short Circuit, Johnny Five. And he was a robot that came to life and was like, he just wanted input. He wanted to understand the world. And just input. He would just speed through books and just get as much information as possible. And sometimes that's what I feel like. It just seems like I want as much information as I can gather so that I can understand what's happening, because so much around me does not make sense to my brain. It don't make sense. But that's because that's the Most High has put in me what is right. He says that in the last days He will write His laws on the tablets of His people's heart. And because we are in a world where good is deemed bad and bad is deemed good, those of us who have a heart's desire to do good, to do right, and I won't say good, right, and wrong, I'll say well-being. But that has been so misconstrued that those of us that have an innate drive to follow what the natural order is, what the Most High has put in place, we are looked at as weird and contradictory. So sometimes when you're not sure of yourself, it can be hard to feel confident that what you're doing is what's right. But what I'm learning is, and even the Bible says, what is right for you may not be right for somebody else, because the Most High gives everybody a different assignment. And just because he tells you to do something don't mean that's what I'm supposed to do. So we have to be mindful and have our own relationship with the Most High. And I believe that that's a big reason why we are all individuals, not only because we're individual expressions of him, but also because he has individual tasks. Again, it's about the puzzle pieces. If all the puzzle pieces were the same, we wouldn't have a picture. It would just be a solid puzzle. Like, it wouldn't even be a puzzle because the pieces can't connect when they're all the same. It would just be a gathering. But the differences is what makes the beauty of the world. But we get so focused on what's different that we're not understanding the grand scheme of things, or how our differences are supposed to come together for the bigger picture, for a unity, because we are all one in the Most High. And he makes provisions for us to do what he is telling us to do. And, you know, if he feeds the birds and he takes care of the animals, he makes the grass grow, the trees grow strong and live for hundreds and thousands of years. Like, how much more so will he take care of us when he has called us according to his purpose, and he gives us a purpose? Like, really, what would life be if we didn't have a purpose? We would just be here. It would be very boring. And honestly, I feel like that's why a lot of this is going on, because people are not connected to their purpose. So they just doing stuff that don't make no sense. And the Most High, honestly, from what I'm getting, is very tired of it. It has been for a long time. He's been telling us in the Bible for a long time that there's going to become a time where enough is enough. And with the things that are happening around the world, and how many people are coming to terms with the fact that we do indeed need the Most High, and enough is enough. Like, I honestly feel like, I know things have been being said for thousands of years that these are the last days, but 1,000 years is like a day to the Most High, and a day is like 1,000 years for us. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't that long. But he's given us opportunities. He's being patient with us to give us the opportunity to come back and to understand the reasonings and the natural state of things. And things are put in order for a reason. And honestly, since I've been making an effort, more of an effort, to do what I know I should be doing for myself, it has been better for me. I have felt better. My well-being has improved, and that's in contradiction to stuff the doctors were telling me. Like, I was taking medicine and everything, and none of that really helped until I got my mind right, and I got together with the Most High and started doing what I was supposed to be doing. Like, a lot of times we take medicine so that we don't have to stop doing the things that's hurting us, when we could just stop doing the things that hurt us and we won't need medicine. Like, it's so simple, and the Most High is telling us it's so simple. But simple doesn't always mean easy, because we have been programmed, and the world is set up in a way so that we default to what they want us to do. And for whatever reasons, there's a lot of theories behind why the world is set up the way it is. But at the end of the day, the answer is still the same. The Most High has given us everything that we need. And if we need something else, all we have to do is ask, and he'll give us what we need. And when we delight in him, he'll give us the desires of our heart. Now, we have to be careful, because sometimes our ego will get in there and make us ask for things that are not in our highest good, and the Most High is not going to give us something that is not for our highest good. So sometimes the answer is no, but that just means you need to ask, you need to check yourself and find out why you're asking for what you're asking, because the Most High said, asking you shall receive in his will. Like and he gives us free will. So even sometimes when it's not of our highest good, he's not going to give it to us, but sometimes he'll take his hands off and let us deal with our own consequences when we make choices that are contrary to the will of God. So I want to reflect, because even during the full moon, I was doing some research about the full moon, and one thing I noted is that even though the Most High put the sun and moon in the sky for lights, the moon does not have any light within itself. It reflects the light of the sun. And then I was led to scriptures that was talking about letting your light shine. And that was one of my favorite songs when I was young, when I was little, like under 5, before I started really coming to consciousness. I was told that, like, my grandfather is a pastor of a church, and we used to have church at the house or Bible study or something, and they would sing songs and stuff. And one of the songs is "This Little Light of Mine." That was one of my favorite songs. And there was a verse in the song that said, "Up and down the highway, I'm going to let my light shine." But I guess as a young child, I thought they were saying hallway. So every time that verse came, I would run up and down the hallway. But I remember when I got a little bit older, after I really understood what it meant, the last time I did it, I knew I was doing it for a show. And God is not really pleased when we do things for attention. He wants us to do things out of the purity of our heart and the innocence of our imagination. That's why he said, "Come to me like a child," because children have unwavering faith in their parents, and they're not afraid to try new things and to look for the adventure in every new experience. And so I'm going to reflect on that and meditate on that today, because all of it comes together in the main message that it doesn't matter where we are, where we go, what we do, the Most High is with us. And when we do what we're supposed to, he will shine on us so that we can reflect his light and we can shine bright so that other people can see the glory of the Most High and come to him and get the same provision, because he is not a respecter of persons. And that just means that it don't matter who you are, where you come from, what you've been doing. If you turn to him, he will accept you with open arms. Don't mean you ain't gonna deal with the consequences of the mess that you done created in your life, but it does mean that he will help you fix it, and he will show you that he loves you and you're accepted just the way that you are. But he also wants us to know that he has better for us, and he wants us to be our best self. He calls us to excellence. And that's not just for him. That's not for display. That's because he loves us and he wants us to be well. He created us to be well. And we are an exquisite design. So whatever has gotten into the world has corrupted the design of the Most High. And it's time for it to get corrected. And honestly, I'm excited to see what that looks like, because just these little bits of glimpses that I'm getting of how good things can be, even with nothing that I have, I'm literally living day to day. He gives me just enough to get through the day, get through the month. And then it's like, okay, what next, Most High? Because he wants us to depend on him. And, you know, people have their own feelings about that. But for me, it's like, it's easy, you know what I'm saying? It's easier, and life goes a whole lot more smoothly. And even when I was trying to do it all on my own and people were trying to tell me what I need to do, they were still just saying the same thing that the Most High been saying my whole life. So I encourage everybody to just listen and let's reflect on the light of the Most High so that we can shine bright for everybody else to see. And I love you, and so does the Most High. So it is.